So this is, of course, the Harbinger S12. It's their 12-inch powered subwoofer. It's pretty popular, and I'm going to tell you why. And if you haven't seen it or heard it, you're definitely going to want to either get yourself one or head down to a guitar center and get a much closer look and listen to. This is very impressive. Of course, throughout this whole video, we will cut away to this actual subwoofer playing. It does a great job doing that. It's got a great tight sound to it, and you can adjust it. You can make it bigger or smaller depending on how you want to use it. So throughout the whole video, the actual subwoofer was paired off with the V2310s. Those again from Harbinger, and it's their 10-inch powered speaker model. Now we did only need to use 2 XLR cables because we were taking advantage of the actual smart stereo connection. It allows me to use just 1 XLR cable to link the first speaker to the second speaker, and does still give me the option not just to have it in stereo, but I can choose mono. And I chose mono today because why? I did want to link up the subwoofer as well and use just a second cable from the output of the first speaker to the sub. Made it simple that way. Again, 1 cable from the left to the right, and then 1 cable from the right to the sub. It made hooking it up simple and easy. So the S12 is actually built out of plywood, which is really important because it gives it that lightweight that we're looking for. It's a 12-inch, so we don't want to burden it by having it weigh 75 pounds just because we went with MDF. So the plywood gives us a lot of durability, and it lightens up the actual box at the same time. Now for the impact resistance, how strong is the actual finish on it? It's really nice. Completely sealed up. Then they actually have a textured, it's a kind of a rhino liner finish to it where it's super durable. It's got that tight speckle finish to it, which gives us this nice smooth finish. And then they put a lacquer coating on top of it so we don't get that scratchiness off the actual surface. Very, very impressive. Very, very nice. Having something that looks nice is very important because, I mean, it's the first appearances. Before you turn it on, people are going to see what you have. So it should look good. So when we look at the front of this speaker, it's really nice. I mean, I do like the kind of that mild M or W look to the cover, which comes up and down and around. It does a really good job. And most importantly, is it acts as a dampener. Because it gives it a lot of extra rigidity in the actual mesh, you're not going to get any sound transfer between the actual metal, which would normally vibrate no problem. But because we have all these bends in it and angles, that's pretty much gone. They also put a diffuser, a dampener in the back of the metal mesh, and that seems to be all sprayed and attached to the front. Again, this is all about stopping any sound to be generated off the metal, because that would be the worst sound that you can have from a speaker. When we talk about power, you know, they have a peak of 1,000 watts, and that also translates into 400 watts of RMS. That's plenty of power for a 12-inch subwoofer. If you're going to be playing it in restaurants, pubs, or bars, maybe a cafe here or there, you're going to want to have something that's reasonable to carry, reasonable to set up, and sounds really good. Because you don't want to carry big, heavy rigs with you all the time, and especially if you're looking for bass, everybody's always worried about the weight. I'd have a subwoofer, but it weighs 100 pounds, so I don't bother. That's not the case here. You're looking at a sub that weighs less than 50 pounds. So you can take this with you, and you can really use it more as an instrument, not just a tool. So it's not just about, oh, this is my sub, it makes bass. You now have the ability to control what kind of bass, how your actual in-output music's going to sound with a speaker like this. So that's a big, big plus.
OMW, I'm always to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW, on the way, on the way. On the way, on the way, on the way. 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 On the way, on the way.
So let's have a look at the back of the actual speaker here and go over some of the features because they are important and we do really want to know what they do for us. So of course we've got inputs and outputs. Our inputs are combo jacks, so they can be balanced or unbalanced 1/4 inch, or they can be a 3-pin XLR. That'll work for us. We've got XLR on our outputs. Then we've got a couple of dials down here. The first knob that we see is the time alignment, which is great. This allows you to adjust the actual speaker delay from your mains to your subs. There's no right or wrong. Of course, it's only going to give you the best bass response when you get it. So as you're actually adjusting, doing a sound test, give this an adjustment. I did find that if I had speakers far away behind the subwoofer when it was on the table here, I had to have it way back. If I actually had the speakers side by side, it really didn't matter. Anywhere between 0 and 12 o'clock seemed to give me the best bass response, but I was also very close to the speaker as well. So, but that's nice. There's no right or wrong. There's only the actual blend between what actually gives you the best bass response on the actual floor when you're listening to it. After that, we've got ourselves our crossover. And this goes anywhere from 70 hertz all the way to full, but of the last one, of course, 150 hertz. And this allows you to adjust it and be able to decide what your cutoff point is going to be. Now, the subwoofer can operate all the way down to 35, and it does a really good job at the bottom end when it comes to bass response. So that's very nice. And then you get to decide. You notice that they say 12 or 15 inch over here in the 70 to 90 range. And then on this side here, you get 8 to 10 inch, and they're kind of giving you a guide between the 130, 150 range. So you can decide what you like to have. I tend to like to have my bass a little bit tighter. So even when I'm using smaller speakers, yes, you could come up here. I tend to still want to stay at 100 or 90 hertz. I just like the sound of the sub better. Sometimes people say you are cutting out a little bit when it comes to how much the top can do versus then the bottom. But I just, again, I try to use this as an instrument, not just a tool. So of course I'm trying to make this sound good for what I want it to do. So that's important. On top, we've got 2 actual switches. The first one says phase, which says 0 and 180. It depends on placement of your subwoofer and again, direction of the subwoofer being placed in the room. And you may have to change the polarity or change the direction the subwoofer runs in. So again, people ask me which is right or wrong. If it's facing, if you had it perfectly lined up and it was facing with the actual speakers, it'd be 0. And if it was facing away, it'd be 180. But again, you're going to be moving this speaker around maybe, and you're going to have to make a choice on how that sound is reflecting on the wall. So again, just like Harbinger says, have a listen to it both ways, and the way that gives you better bass response that you feel better with is the way to leave it. Normally, I'm always at 0, again, unless I'm actually putting this in the corner or facing it away from the mains. Now, this is a nice feature. Right here, we've got a -10 +4 setting for the actual subwoofer control. Now, you notice I have it here at 10. The whole actual demo that we had here today, this was set at 10. The volume was set at 50% when it came to how much gain that I had the actual subwoofer set at, and again, -12. If I put the actual +4, it would drop the overall input gain of the actual system. And that's kind of important because if you're going to use 2 of these and you're going to have them hooked up to 12-inch tops instead of 8s or 10s like I have here. So here I had 1 subwoofer, 2 tops. If I had 2 subs and 2 tops, I would definitely feel that having this just at the +4, which again drops it down, evens out the top and bottom, meaning that I'm going to have my 12-inch top and this 12-inch subwoofer, and that's going to give me a proper 3-way speaker on the left and a proper 3-way speaker on the right. It's just going to sound overall better system. But again, you can make these choices. Again, this switch is optional up to you on how you're going to set it. But if you're limiting a lot on your music, you're probably going to want to switch it over to the +4, and that'll actually pull it away a bit, and that'll make it sound better, and you'll see the limiter going off less. So at any point in time, by all means, the links down below get you to Guitarcenter. That's our affiliate partner when it comes to Harbinger products, so that's very, very important. That's actually what pays the bills for these videos that you see here, is those links down below. So if you're interested in getting the actual subwoofer or learning more about it, by all means, use the link down below. So again, if we're looking at this and we want to keep it simple, we'll talk about what Harbinger has to offer that works out well with this. The V2310, if I was buying 2 of the S12 subs and 2 of those tops, That's going to work out really well. I can get one of these subs and two of the 2310s or two of the 23.8s. That also is going to work. If there's any particular speaker that you have, now would be a good time to put down in the comment, would it work well with this speaker here? I have this, or I'd like to get this. And just let me know the actual model of the speakers you have, and I will tell you my opinion on if you should get this sub to go with that or not. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's very important. It lets YouTube know what's going on, and it lets me know that I'm doing okay, or maybe I should change things up a bit. So we've got all kinds of actual Harbinger videos available for you to watch. They're constantly coming out all the time. If you're looking for more ideas from Harbinger, by all means, you can have a look at the link down below or have a look at our channel. Always there for you. So there's not a lot of great subwoofers in this price range. So you're kind of looking at a very unique opportunity here. You remember, Harbinger is part of Guitarcenter's family of brands, and that's very important because that's kind of like cutting out the middleman. And I know I've said it in other videos, but that's very important. That gives you a price point better than anybody else in the industry when it comes to what they can offer you, because of course, unless they're selling direct and they decide they're no longer going to be in a store, you know, the only person out there who can actually take advantage of this is the actual retailer, and they got to be big, and Guitarcenter is very big. So they have the ability to have an actual division that creates some pretty amazing products. And this isn't like products from 10 years ago where it was just price piece and it was hard to design a good product. No, no, no. The engineering and availability for design and manufacturing is absolutely incredible. Performance and reliability that you get for your investment today is incredible. The opportunity to be able to buy stuff today at such a high level of performance for such a reasonable price. We're going to leave it at that for today. So I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Maybe I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.